Hello, friends. Did you ever think it was strange that people only ever ride regular horses? It would seem that zebras aren't particularly different, except for the black and white stripes on their bodies. People domesticated horses about 5,000 to 6,000 years ago. The first ones to do this were the inhabitants of present-day Kazakhstan. It was them who tried eating horse meat and laid the foundations for horse riding. There are 7 types of horses on our planet at the moment, and several of them are actually zebras. In fact, people have tried to tame zebras many times, to use them as a means of transportation. But these animals have several important traits that prevent them from making friends with people. Zebras are close relatives of horses, but they are very different from them by their nature. They are much more aggressive, and this trait is vital for them. They live exclusively in the open areas of Africa. Dangerous predators like lions and cheetahs live next to them and are actually their main enemies. So zebras are constantly on the alert and have developed a very nervous temperament over the years. They aren't only difficult to tame, they're even hard to approach. They choose to immediately run away from any potentially dangerous situation. Nevertheless, there have been numerous attempts to domesticate them. One of the first people to try and tame the wild zebras were the European colonists who sailed to Africa. In the 19th century, they came to the new lands, and the first problem they faced was the absence of horses to use for fast transportation. Horses usually simply run around about the meadows, and even the wild individuals can be domesticated if need be. African zebras, however, are always on the lookout for danger, and in case they sense it, they are ready to fight even the most dangerous predators. Their sharp canines and strong hooves help them with that. Thus, even if a person did manage to get close to a zebra, it wouldn't end well for them. Moreover, for any animal to be domesticated, it must meet 4 requirements. Be able to reproduce in captivity. Eat different kinds of food, even the leftovers from human breakfasts, lunches, and dinners. Be able to maintain hierarchy within the group. Have a non-aggressive disposition. Zebras don't meet any of these conditions, as even breeding in captivity is difficult for them. They do live in groups, but there is no strict hierarchy in them. This lifestyle simply allows them to scare away and confuse predators. And the animal's ability to maintain hierarchy is very important, as it gives people a chance to become the leader. And I have already mentioned their aggressive nature. Furthermore, zebras aren't suitable for riding due to their body structure. The height of ordinary horses is about 180 centimeters, almost the same as adult humans. But zebras are much shorter. Their height doesn't reach over 150 centimeters. Galloping across the fields on such animals would obviously be very uncomfortable. Also, since zebras aren't as strong as horses, only light people could ride them. But what would happen if you harness zebras into a carriage? Let's say a person somehow managed to appease these animals. Working together, they could easily pull heavy loads. The British banker Lord Walter Rothschild managed to do it once. Looking to impress people, he taught zebras to pull a carriage and rode it near Buckingham Palace one day. However, the fact that he succeeded doesn't mean that zebras are suitable for this job. He was a zoologist, and he even rode a Galapagos tortoise once. Thus, thanks to their physiological characteristics, zebras are more fortunate than horses because they remained free. Did you know why zebras need their stripes? This is still a big mystery for a lot of people. In fact, even scientists can't give an exact explanation for this phenomenon. There are currently several theories, and one of them claims that zebras need their stripes for proper heat transfer. There is also scientific evidence that the unusual coloration scares off flies and other insects. Scientists have spent decades debating about the evolutionary causes of the black and white stripes in zebras. They came up with 3 theories about the purpose of the unusual texture of these animals. They may need their stripes for protection from insects and predators, to easily recognize their relatives, and for proper heat transfer in the hot African conditions. The latter theory seems to be the most plausible, and the heat transfer properties of the stripes have been recently proven by 2 amateur naturalists. The study was conducted by Stephen and Allison Cobb. They spent years in Africa and conducted various environmental studies. While collecting field data on a number of animals in Kenya, they conducted the first ever study to identify the heat transfer functions of zebra stripes in their natural habitat. Any previous research was usually carried out in special pens. While tracking 2 zebras, a stallion and a mare, the researchers noticed a difference in temperature between the black and white stripes, which other scientists have previously observed. According to biologists, temperature differences help maintain the body temperature of the animal at an optimal level, creating convective air movements. However, the Cobb couple also made a new discovery. By measuring the body temperature of a dead zebra, they found that given the same striped cover, it has a higher temperature. It is a clear sign that other processes are involved in thermoregulation. According to the researchers, heat regulation only works in living zebras because they have the amazing skill of lifting up their hair on black stripes while leaving the white stripes straight. Scientists are confident that this is what helps the zebras get rid of excess heat. Sweating also plays an important role in thermoregulation. All moisture from the skin is transferred to the ends of the hair in the form of foamy drops, which evaporate much faster than ordinary drops of moisture. That said, we shouldn't forget about the other possible purposes of the black and white stripes on zebras' bodies, because they can have several functions at once. For example, they definitely protect animals from flies and other insects. This has been proven in experiments. The observations revealed several unexpected details. It turned out that the stripes don't hide the animal from horseflies. They circled over zebras and horses dressed in striped suits or coats as often as over white and black horses. However, the stripes clearly confused them as they approached the victim and tried to sit on the rump. Flies clearly overestimated the distance to zebras and horses in striped coats and moved too fast, which resulted in them bumping into the animals and therefore biting them much less often than in the case of black and white horses. The most interesting thing, however, is that despite their natural camouflage, zebras noticed the flies much more than ordinary horses and thus tried to run away from them. Scientists attribute this to the fact that African insects carry more dangerous diseases than European ones, and this makes zebras much more attentive to their bites. Stripes can also be used as camouflage to protect zebras from predators. And that's all for today, friends. Share your thoughts on today's episode in the video's comments. Like the video, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.